What if there was an invisible thread inside your body, connecting your mind to your soul, your breath to your peace, and your stomach to your emotions? What if I told you this thread has been overlooked in the West for centuries, yet has always been honored as sacred by ancient spiritual traditions around the world? That thread truly exists. Its scientific name is the vagus nerve, but in spiritual terms it could be called the channel of the soul, the serpent of calm, or the golden key to the inner temple. This nerve, the longest and most intricate in your body, acts as a hidden bridge between your physical self and your spiritual nature. Many people think of spirituality as something separate from the body, something that can only be reached through complex rituals or extreme practices. But ancient wisdom teaches us otherwise. True spirituality lives within the body, flowing through it and showing itself in the way we breathe, feel, eat, and rest. The vagus nerve is that sacred gateway. When you activate it, you unlock a deep sense of balance, healing, and awareness within yourself. You don't need external substances or grand ceremonies. You only need to tune into your inner rhythm and learn to live in harmony with it. In this video, we will uncover the secrets of the vagus nerve from spiritual, anatomical, and energetic perspectives. We'll show you not only its path through your body, but also simple and powerful ways to activate it through practices like breathing, sound, massage, meditation, and mindful eating. You'll learn how it's connected to your vital organs, your mood, and your spiritual health. We'll also explore how balancing it can bring peace to your mind, order to your digestion, and calm to your soul. Most importantly, we'll explain why activating the vagus nerve is one of the most underrated practices for awakening your consciousness. Get ready. What you're about to discover is not just knowledge, it's the key to your living temple. Breathe deeply, feel, listen. We're starting the journey into the heart of the vagus nerve. In modern culture, we often see the body as a machine that serves the mind. But in ancient traditions, the body was seen as much more. It was a sacred antenna, a living temple through which the soul could rise, purify itself, and align with the laws of the universe. From this perspective, the idea of an internal channel that regulates energy, emotions, and spiritual connection wasn't just a medical idea, but a mystical truth. The vagus nerve, which Western anatomy described centuries later, was known in other cultures by shamans, Taoist sages, yogis, and Egyptian healers. They didn't call it the vagus nerve, but they spoke of a sacred channel running from the base of the skull to the abdomen, regulating internal organs, mental peace, and spiritual well-being. In spiritual terms, it was the axis of the incarnate soul. In Chinese medicine, for example, the Renmai and Dumai meridians create an energetic circuit that runs vertically through the body, similar to the path of the vagus nerve. These energetic pathways are activated through deep breathing, meditation, and practices like Qigong, which bring relaxation, healing, and mental clarity. The sensations that arise from these practices, gentle tremors, warmth, tears, or a sense of expansion, are all signs of vagus nerve activation in modern terms. Yoga, with its breathing techniques, body postures, and practices like pranayama, aims to balance the autonomic nervous system, which we now know is closely tied to the vagus nerve. When someone enters deep meditation or has a mystical experience during their practice, they're not only raising their energy, they're also stimulating their vagus nerve, reconnecting their body and spirit. The Egyptians spoke of an inner current like the Nile that connected the heart to the belly and carried vital energy, the Ka. In modern terms, this can be understood as the bioelectrical connection between the solar plexus, the heart, and the brain, all areas influenced by the vagus nerve. Even in Hebrew tradition, there's mention of the breath of God, a life-giving energy that brings peace and calm to the body. This breath, when consciously harmonized, activates the parasympathetic system, where the vagus nerve plays a central role. Breathing in this sense doesn't just oxygenate the body, it awakens the sacred within. What's fascinating is that all of this, once considered mystical, is now scientific. Modern research has confirmed that the vagus nerve is key to the parasympathetic system, which is responsible for bringing us back to a state of rest, digestion, creativity, and spirituality. Stimulating it not only calms us, but also helps us connect on a deeper level. That's why this knowledge is ancient. It's not just another technique, but a reminder that peace, clarity, and energy aren't found outside of us. They're activated from within, through a golden thread we're only just beginning to understand. To grasp the importance of the vagus nerve in spiritual terms, we first need to recognize its physical role. The vagus nerve, also known as the 10th cranial nerve, is the longest and most complex part of the autonomic nervous system. Its name comes from the Latin word vagus, meaning wandering, because it travels through and connects several organs, from the brain through the throat, heart, lungs, liver, stomach, and intestines. Its reach is so vast that it could be considered the communication system between heaven and earth within the human body. Physiologically, the vagus nerve controls important involuntary functions like heart rate, breathing, digestion, inflammation, and even sleep. But from a spiritual perspective, its function is even more profound. It's the channel through which the body enters a state of receptivity, spiritual openness, and deep restoration. When the sympathetic nervous system is activated, your body goes into fight or flight mode. Everything speeds up. You become reactive, tense, and scattered. But when the vagus nerve is activated, the parasympathetic system kicks in, bringing your body back to a state of calm, introspection, and healing. In this state, everything aligns. Your brainwaves slow down, your organs work together harmoniously, and your awareness expands. This is what many spiritual practitioners call a state of grace, pure presence, or the fertile void. It's not magic, it's biology. Have you ever wondered why so many spiritual practices begin with breathing? Why you might take a deep sigh during moments of peace or emotional release? That's because the vagus nerve responds directly to slow, mindful breathing. By breathing deeply, especially into your abdomen, you activate receptors that send signals to your brain to calm you down. But it's not just the body that relaxes. Your energetic field opens up. With continued deep breathing, you might feel your chest expand, warmth in your belly, or lightness in your head. These sensations aren't just physical. They're signs that your energy is flowing in harmony, and you're tuning into your inner center. In the chakra system, the vagus nerve connects especially with the heart chakra, anahata, the center of balance, love, and healing. It's no coincidence that activating the vagus nerve opens the chest, steadies your heartbeat, and creates a deeper connection to the world around you. Many people who practice conscious breathing or deep meditation experience a profound sense of peace or unity. That feeling isn't just a metaphor, it's the vagus nerve doing its sacred work. Another interesting aspect is the vagus nerve's connection to the throat. Your voice, singing, and mantras all directly impact the vagus nerve. Chanting Om, reciting psalms, saying sacred words, or even making guttural sounds during meditation deeply stimulate the vagus. This vibration not only calms you, but also tunes your body like a spiritual instrument. Even the emotional release during therapy or spiritual practices is related to the vagus nerve's influence. It's as if a door opens, allowing the soul to release what it has held in silence. The vagus nerve isn't just a physical part of the body, it's a vibrational channel that connects you to your body, your spirit, and the world beyond. And this is just the beginning of the mystery. Beyond bringing balance and calm, the vagus nerve also opens up inner visions, heightened intuition, and altered states of consciousness when used with intention. We've seen the vagus nerve as a regulator of physical and emotional health, but its true power is revealed when it goes beyond the biological and acts as an energetic antenna, linking you to subtler levels of awareness, your soul, and even the universal field of consciousness. Ancient sages didn't speak of autonomic nervous systems or neurotransmitters, but they understood the effects of certain practices: rhythmic breathing, sound, fasting, connecting with nature, and certain postures, all of which stimulate the vagus nerve. These were seen as ways to awaken the soul, the inner voice, or the divine channel. Now we can understand how the vagus nerve helps expand perception. By calming the mind and relaxing the body, it creates space for intuitive awareness. In more spiritual terms, it quiets the noise of the ego, allowing the soul's vibration to rise. In this sense, the vagus nerve is not just a pathway to peace, it's a mystical threshold. Recent studies show that when the vagus nerve is stimulated repeatedly, it increases the production of oxytocin, the love hormone, activates acetylcholine, which helps with mental clarity, and reduces cortisol, the stress hormone. What's fascinating is that these biochemical changes don't just impact your body, they also influence your energy field, making it more coherent, stable, and receptive. This field, known as the aura in many traditions, becomes more harmonious when your body is in a parasympathetic state. It's in these moments that things like premonitions, lucid dreams, empathic communication, sudden bursts of creativity, and synchronicities can occur. Does this mean the vagus nerve is a gateway to the mystical? Absolutely. By calming your body and mind, the human energy field becomes clear, and that's when higher consciousness can emerge, communicate, or manifest. Beyond basic practices like breathing or chanting, there are deeper methods that work with the vagus nerve in a spiritual way. One method is induced tremors, which help release stored trauma. When the body shakes spontaneously in a safe environment, the vagus nerve resets itself deeply. In the resulting quiet, many people report visions or memories of past lives. Another method is sense withdrawal, which involves disconnecting from the external world and turning inward. In yoga, this technique helps shut down sensory input, allowing the vagus nerve to facilitate deeper meditative states. A third method is sound baths, where instruments like Tibetan bowls, gongs, or the didgeridoo emit frequencies that resonate with the vagus nerve. Listening to these sounds in a ritual setting induces theta brainwaves, which are associated with visionary and spiritually integrative states. In esoteric teachings, the spiral symbolizes the soul's journey toward wholeness. Interestingly, the vagus nerve follows a spiral path. It descends, twists, branches out, touches organs, and then ascends again. It's not a straight line. It's a dance between worlds, the physical and the spiritual, the instinctive and the intuitive. Understanding this helps us realize that spirituality isn't something distant. It's deeply embedded within us. The path to higher consciousness isn't measured by distance but by layers of silence, breath, and surrender. Knowing that the vagus nerve can help you access higher states of consciousness and deep healing is only useful if you actually put it into practice. So this section is an invitation to bring that knowledge into your everyday life. You don't have to live in a temple or constantly retreat to find spiritual growth. Your most powerful practice can begin now. In the quiet of your breath, honoring your body, and being present in each moment. The vagus nerve, as a channel of regulation, responds better to consistency than intensity. This means that small, regular habits practiced with mindfulness and presence will have more of an impact than occasional, intense efforts. Below, I'll share simple practices to help activate this sacred nerve in your daily life. First, deep diaphragmatic breathing. Make breathing a ritual. Each morning before checking your phone, sit quietly and place your hands on your abdomen. Inhale deeply through your nose, counting to 4. Hold for 2 seconds and then exhale slowly, counting to 6. Repeat this cycle for 5 minutes. This type of breathing activates receptors in your diaphragm that directly stimulate the vagus nerve. But don't treat it just as physical exercise. Do it as if you're connecting with something sacred inside you. Breathe as though you're invoking peace and balance. Second, the power of sound, mantras, and vibration. The vagus nerve responds strongly to vocal vibrations. Chant mantras like Om, or repeat affirmations like I am peace, I am centered, or simply I am in a calm, steady tone. Do this while you walk, in the shower, or whenever you feel anxious. The goal is not to sing perfectly, but to create an internal vibration that resonates with your being. Third, contact with nature and silence. Walk barefoot on the earth, sit under a tree, or just listen to the wind without doing anything. These practices activate the vagus nerve by reducing external stimuli and reconnecting you to nature's natural rhythm. In those moments, your parasympathetic system takes over, your heart rate slows, and your energy reorganizes. Make silence a sacred space, not as something to endure, but as a healing practice. Fourth, gentle massage. Focus on key points like the area near your carotid artery, the earlobes, and the base of your skull. These areas have many branches of the vagus nerve. By touching them slowly and with intention, you can help calm your entire system. Do this at the end of the day, expressing gratitude for what you've experienced. Make this gesture an act of spiritual love. Fifth, embrace your emotions as guides. When you feel anxiety, sadness, or frustration, don't try to fight them. Instead, take a deep breath and focus on your chest or belly. Ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to teach me? By accepting it instead of resisting it, the vagus nerve activates and signals to your body that there's no real threat. This helps your soul express itself more clearly. These practices are not just techniques. They are ways to transform your everyday life. When done with respect, each one can turn your biology into a spiritual experience. Remember, the vagus nerve is the invisible thread connecting your body to your higher self, and you can access it every day. We've traveled a deep, inward path together, one that doesn't take you outward, but inward. You've learned that you don't have to climb mountains or seek hidden teachings in far-off places to reach spiritual insight. True initiation starts within your body, in the unseen tissue that connects your physical form to your expanded consciousness, the vagus nerve. This nerve isn't just part of your nervous system. It's a bridge between the physical and spiritual, between your emotions and your divine connection, between anxiety and peace. By consciously caring for and activating this energy channel, you can improve your physical and emotional health while reawakening your inner temple, the space where your soul can rest in silence and communicate with you. It's no accident that many spiritual traditions have centered around breathing, sound, song, silence, touch, and contemplation. All these practices soothe the deep nervous system. All are paths for the spirit to fully inhabit the body once again. We live in an age where constant external stimuli keep us on high alert. Stress is not just a discomfort, it's a sign of spiritual disconnection. When the vagus nerve is out of balance, it stops us from hearing the wisdom of the heart, the voice of intuition, and the stillness of the soul. That's why caring for your vagus nerve is a form of spiritual resistance. It's about choosing to return to yourself, to live from your center. And this path doesn't require complicated rituals. It starts with one simple act, one conscious breath. That moment when you pause, inhale deeply, and exhale with intention doesn't just regulate your system. It opens the door for your soul to enter. Remember, you are not your thoughts, emotions, or fears. You are the one who observes them from within, and that inner observer has a door. That door is subtle, vibrant, and alive. That door is the vagus nerve. So I invite you to make your body a sanctuary. Honor every gesture, your rest, your food, your silence, your voice, and recognize your body as the fertile ground where your eternal self blossoms. Understand that true power doesn't come from outside. It pulses within you, in your solar plexus, your throat, your breath. Breathe, listen, feel. Begin to live from the place where peace, love, and light naturally dwell. If this message resonates with you, subscribe to the channel to continue exploring the body as a bridge to your spiritual self. If you were touched by this, give it a like. Share this video with others who are ready to remember what's always been inside them. Because in the end, true healing doesn't come from the outside. It comes from the soul awakening within the body. And you now hold the key.